You've watched my video about how cash buyers only are the best words you can see on an advert. If you haven't watched that video yet, go watch it now, because it tells you the 3 reasons why that's an amazing thing to see on an advert. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all about how you can buy those deals where no finance is possible, or where agents don't think there's finance possible, without using any of your own money. Frank Flegg here, founder of Ethical Property Partners. Method 1 is vendor finance. Now this blows people's minds, but we've done this many times. If a vendor has an unencumbered property, so that's a property with no mortgage on it, and they want to sell, now they have to be highly motivated to sell, but if they want to sell their property and move on, they can lend you the money to buy the property. So obviously no money actually changes hands, but in effect, they give you the keys and you give them a bit of paper that says, I now owe you X amount of money for your property. And it's as simple as that. We've got these through in 14 days before now, because you don't need to do searches. You don't need to go through all the hoops of applying for a mortgage. Literally, the vendor becomes your mortgage lender. It's as simple as that. And here's the best bit. You can do the mortgage at 0 interest if you and the vendor agree. Now, they don't always agree. I've got vendor finance deals on 0 interest, 1%, 2%. I've got one at 3.5%, and I think my highest ever was 4%. Still pretty good interest rates, but here's the thing. There's no credit check up front. So if you're sat there thinking I'm not mortgageable, no problem. Vendor finance works for you. There's no setup fees, so there's no valuation, there's no fees to pay at the start, and there's no exit fees. There's no massive costs associated with it. And so vendor finance is one of my favorite ways of doing a no money down deal. Method number 2 is control the property now and pay later for it. Now there's a few different ways of doing this. One of the ways of doing this is a lease option. So you can sign a lease, give them £1 for the option to buy the property later. You pay them a monthly amount out of the rent, and then you buy the property later. And the great thing is you secure the price now and pay that price in the future. We've got one at the moment that's 15 years. We agreed the price a few years ago, and in 15 years from that date, we'll buy it at that price. That price can even be a below market value price, or it can be an above market value price. Another method of controlling a property is with an exchange of contracts. So you can actually exchange contracts on the property and then complete the purchase later. You can complete it 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years later. I've never done one longer than 15 years, but it's certainly possible. The third way of investing without any of your own money in a deal is to use other people's money. And we have got countless deals where we've invested using none of our own money, and instead we've given a really high interest rate to someone else who otherwise would have had their money in their bank, earning them a pittance. And there are so many people out there at the moment who are earning 1%, 1.5%, 2% on their money, when we would happily give them 5, 6, sometimes even 7% if the deal warrants it on their money for sometimes quite a long period of time. And if these people are happy to give us 100% of purchase price, which they often are, especially if it's a below market value purchase, and then lend on the refurbishment, so give us the money to do the works, then it's a completely no money down deal, and it's a win-win. It's a win for the investor. They're now getting 5% on their money, 6% on their money. We can give them first charge on the property, so it's really safe for them, really secure, and we're buying a property that's going to be giving us positive cash flow every month, putting money in our pocket using none of our own money. That means that we can buy an infinite number of properties. We can buy one today, one tomorrow, one the next day, because we're never going to run out of funds. In conclusion, there are loads of ways of building a property portfolio without using any of your own money, or without leaving any of your own money in. As some of you know, I started with very little money not too long ago, and have built a decent sized portfolio using these exact strategies. So for those of you that were a bit skeptical, those of you that had heard People say it's impossible, it doesn't work anymore. That was something that would work 10 years ago. I just encourage you to explore it. I'd encourage you to go do a no money down deal. Because I tell you, once you start doing them, once you start making an infinite return on your money, once you start doing deals that you could do day after day after day, it becomes addictive. Because that infinite return on your investment is phenomenally powerful. It means you never have to stop, you never have to slow down. You can literally buy as many properties as you can find. Happy investing. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, click subscribe, click like, click the notification bell, and you'll get way more of our great quality content. See you then.